Hi, everybody. I'm sorry, I'm nervous. My name is Julie. My question is, sorry, I'm super nervous. How do I stop putting productivity in charge of my self-worth?
You just nailed that one out of the park, didn't you? Well, are you aware of where that comes from first?
Well, my parents.
Well, always. It's the one thing the psychologist got right.
Just like the way I grew up in a very strict, like, Asian household where they just, like, you have to get things done. There's no time to, like, cry or, like, be upset about anything. Like, go, go, go. And my mom is like that. She's a very go, go, go person.
Well, yes, it seems to be like a disease that goes through the generations, isn't it? Okay, so what would happen if you didn't? This is what I need you to become conscious of. Most of us, it's almost like the consequences in our life we're trying to avoid are abstract. We've got to stop with the abstract. We've got to know what monster we're actually running away from. So pretend you are not productive. What happens?
I would fail, and I feel like there just wouldn't be a point for me to exist anyway.
You're still not looking at the monster. Make it tangible, okay? So, do you want to be back in your parents' house for this? Okay, I'm in my parents' house. I stopped producing anything. No productivity. You don't get out of bed. What does it look like? What does non-productivity look like? Play this game with yourselves, too, if you've got this issue.
Getting in trouble with my parents, not getting any attention.
Okay, what does getting in trouble look like?
Like getting yelled at, like punishment.
What kinds of punishment?
Like physical punishment.
Did it stop working?
Yeah.
Blake, someone. What she said is physical punishment.
Also, being isolated in a room, I guess, like in my room.
So you're isolated, and you're also, so what does it feel like when somebody's mad at you? When you're in trouble?
Like there's something wrong with me, like I did something wrong.
Very good. You just hit the nail on the head. I can't live with me. Not only am I isolated, so I'm only with me, I hate me. Because you think your parents are right about you. So it's shame that you're trying to run away from, and the inevitable isolation of shame.
Yeah.
Oh. Okay, I'm going to explain shame for you guys. Ready? Shame is actually really interesting because it is an internal fragmentation. Stand up for me. We're going to do a little demo. Okay. Remember how I talked about the fact that separation or fragmentation within the universe is this continuous splitting apart, right? So we're one, right? We're one. Now fragmentation is like a cell dividing. Now watch what shame is. Shame is, okay, I begin as one person. And part of me, as this one person, is I have anger, right? That's an emotion that people have. Now, if I grow up in a household that shames me for having anger, so anger makes me a bad girl, what's my option? The only way that I can stay close to this person is to not have anger. So I want to push anger away from myself. What's my only way of doing this? Some of you got it right. My only way of doing this is to push myself away. But how can I do that? How can I push myself away? On a physical level, you can't really do that, can you? It's not like when you push yourself away, like your body splits in half, right? But your consciousness does. Your internal reality can. So it's almost like your consciousness is more like water, where you can split water into two different streams, right? So my way, when I want to push myself away, which is what shame is, I split my consciousness. Now, this is actually the reason why shame is so painful. This is the reason why you are having a difficult time with non-productivity. Because I'm the part you won't accept. I'm putting you in an interesting position right now. You're the one that pushed me away. By the way, you're watching your internal reality right now. And I'm going to be doing this a lot in the future, so. Okay. Oh, I love this. Grab that. You're meeting yourself today. You're the one that pushed me away. Go ahead, have an argument with me. Do you think we like each other right now? No, she pushed me away. I'm the non-productive part of you. I'm the one that just wants to be loved for who I am. I'm freaking sick of this rat race. I'm not doing it anymore. In fact, I'm going to get sick.
Well, I wouldn't have to push you away if you would just get on the wagon.
Do you think I want to be on the wagon with you now?
No. But you have to.
I don't have to do anything. There's no point to living if I have to be on that wagon. Haven't you noticed that nobody likes you there either, and it's not even who you really are?
But I don't want to not do anything to make you happy.
Oh, like, see, that's what you think of me?
It feels like majority of me is on this side, and you're the only one who doesn't want to go with the group.
I'm the only one.
That's what it feels like.
So how did I just feel? I'm like done appealing to you. I'm just going to appeal to other people because like you're not fucking listening to me. So
Okay.
I feel lonely. You just made me alone. I'm the only one.
I'm sorry. What do you want to do? Maybe we can meet in the middle.
That's different.
So what do you want to do?
What I want to do. And sometimes it looks like sitting in front of a TV show with ice cream.
Well, we did that the other day. And we stayed up till 5 a.m., so.
Why was that a problem for you? I can tell you why it was a problem for me.
Why was it a problem for you?
Because you never sat on the couch. I was the one that sat watching ice cream. Right? You spent the whole time doing what? We shouldn't be here. We shouldn't be on this couch.
True.
We shouldn't be eating this, actually. We really, 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 really should be doing something else. We can do this only if we do something else later. So you were never on the couch.
So you want me on the couch with you?
Yeah, yes, I do.
But I tried.
Yeah, but you didn't actually, though. No.
How do I sit on the couch with you without, like, worrying about what to do next?
Okay, I want you to see, do you see what's happening here? How many of you have already recognized that this is an internalized relationship with the parents? This is what happens when we fragment ourselves as a result of shame, is we develop an internal relationship between our own consciousness split that mirrors the relationship with the parents exactly. I'm the kid. This is mom and dad. Do you notice the lack of presence? Who's the problem? See, this is the funny part. You haven't recognized you're the problem yet, have you? Look at the audience. Who's the problem? Get aggressive, point at it. Isn't that funny? You don't think you're the problem, but actually everybody else recognizes you as the problem.
So how do I stop?
You got to stop right now and realize you're the problem. If you're the problem, that's the actual reality. You're actually the one that's the problem.
I try to, like, allow you to express yourself a lot. I mean, okay, obviously not a lot, but I sometimes, and I feel like you take too long. Like, it takes you, like, days.
You want to know why?
Because I never let you express yourself?
Yes. No, okay, here's why. Ready? We're out of the rules for 2.5 seconds. Ready? Okay, you're a little kid. I'm mom and dad. You're upset right now, right? Okay, I'll be here for as long as it takes you to feel good. What do I need to do to make you feel good? Come on, we've been doing stuff. I've been sitting here. I'm sitting with you.
Like, be here present.
I am here.
Not really.
Exactly. This is what makes people stuck. You see? Do you understand this? This is why we're stuck. We're stuck because you can't be present so that. Doesn't matter what the end of that sentence is. It doesn't work to be present so that. That's not presence. That's I'm literally the opposite of present. I'm here hoping you'll change. Oh, that feels just amazing inside. So this is what I'm trying to show you. This part of you that really doesn't want productivity to be everything in life never actually gets any presence at all. It's always got the pressure of, I gotta do something else. Do you feel that?
Yeah. I did one of the exercises where you take the conscious of your like physical ailment, and I always get my lower back injured. So I did that, and I found out that, I asked myself, what do you want me to do? And she said that she wants me to meditate. And I have been doing that. But it feels like...
How many of you are seeing the problem? Where are you trying to get? It's like you've got such a prerogative with yourself, it's actually painful. Me being in this aspect of your consciousness, it is torture. It's like everything in you is like, I'm doing all these things so that... What are you trying to get to?
To finish the things I have to do. But there's no time. Like, I have to get things done at a certain time. Like,
Close your eyes. I'll let this aspect of your consciousness help you out with what you're not seeing. Ready? Close your eyes and imagine. Your back is fine, I'm on board, and we finish everything. Can you go there? What does it look like?
Productivity. Like I feel good. Like all of me feels good.
Well, keep going. I want you guys following along with this if you've got the productivity bug. What does it look like? If your life is exactly where you want it to be, or just as productive as you want it to be, you got everything finished, actually. Mom and Dad are happy.
Like peaceful, and it's not like I don't feel rushed.
And then what?
I mean, nothing. I just,
No, so now you can sit on a beach?
yeah,
You can sit in front of the TV and watch ice cream?
yeah.
Keep playing it out.
I could, I guess, like, have relationships and stuff.
For how long?
Until I don't feel good.
What happens the day after you get everything done?
I feel good about myself.
How about the day after that?
Still feeling good.
Day after that?
Good. Until
Day after that?
Oh. This is after everything's done, right?
Yes.
Okay. I feel really good. Yeah, I want to socialize, do things that like feels good.
Day after that?
Same thing.
Just keep doing this. One more day.
Same thing. I feel good.
What are you doing?
Nothing, really.
How long is doing nothing gonna last?
Until something has to be done, like a deadline or
And who
something.
dictates that?
Who dictates what has to be done? Me.
How long are your parents gonna be okay with you watching a TV show after you get everything done?
Not that long. I mean, I feel like it has to be reasonable amount of time. Yeah, it has to be reasonable.
I'm using your crystals. Ready? This is the hell of your life. You ready? You can get love and you can get the relaxation and everything you actually want if you accomplish this. Do you see my hell yet? This is never going to end. That's what I need you to actually get in your body, not just get mentally. Like, I need you to get it in your body. Get it. What did I just show you?
You just showed my relationship with myself, how I constantly have to.
Yeah, it's your relationship with yourself, but it's bigger than that. By the way, what you're describing is a microcosm of the world at large. Welcome to society. What's your hell?
What's my what?
What's your hell?
Constantly having to do things.
Yeah, there will never be an end. There will never be a point at which you're ever good enough. Ever. Never, ever. Ever. Today, it's I'll be good enough if I get there. The minute you get there, it's going to be not good enough. This is what you see. First, it's, you know what, I'll be great once I get $1 million. Okay, now I have $1 million. Now I'm never going to be fulfilled unless I have the perfect wife or the perfect husband. Okay, now I've got that. Well, kind of. Okay, well, now it's not going to be enough unless I become enlightened. And thanks to the fact that I have $1 million, I can go meditate on a freaking submarine for 4 days if I want. Do you see? This is the real rat race. The rat race is about much more than money. It's about the fact that there will never be a single day where it's ever okay to be you. In this moment. And this is the hell that we subject our children to when we never make it okay for them to just be them. When it's bring home A's. Oh, good, now you're going to Dartmouth, right? Oh, good, now you got a really, really stable job, right? There's never a day that we can sit down and say, look, I don't care whether you're sitting on the couch, you're still my kid. You're a doll. Do you see that? I need you to actually realize this. Like you have to consciously realize there will never be a day where you don't have to be productive. It doesn't matter how productive you are. But I need you to really get it. Can you sit and get it here for a minute? Just like really try to get it, okay? Because in your body you have to feel the hell of it. While I talk to them about something. Ready? I am not about Novocaine spirituality. Most of you who are in this audience already know that. It's probably why you're here instead of it's some damn spiritual place where people are basically telling you that life can be amazing, right? The reason you're here is that I'm going to give it to you straight, and this is how it looks. Ready? To get out of your hell, you're going to have to see it. I wish that, like, if you have your little notebooks, I want you to write that down. I want you to write it down because the process of awakening is going to be really, really shitty sometimes. You have got to see the hell you're in to get out of your hell. Now, what the majority of people are doing on the planet, and unfortunately the majority of the people in my field are doing, is they're trying to paint your prison yellow. They're saying, look, it's not really hell. Just look at it a different way. Now, that type of coping mechanism, which is what it is, I'm sorry, it's a coping mechanism. That coping mechanism will serve you immensely if you're in Auschwitz. Let's say that you've lined up with a situation where you are literally no way out, okay? Yes, you should start that practice. But that's not the case for the majority of people today. For the vast majority of people today, it's just that you haven't realized the hell that you're in because you've been using that coping mechanism since you were children. Ready for me to make childhood even more scary? Childhood is literally a prison, you guys. Now, if you look at childhood, I dare you sometime when you get into your meditative practices, just look at childhood again. It's insane the amount of expansion we're actually getting out of it, especially as a physical human. Because what we're doing is we're coming into this earth premature. Like literally the most relationally dependent creatures you can meet on the planet. I mean, how many of you have seen a horse born? Those things are up in 20 minutes. Peace out, man. We are completely relationally dependent. We put ourselves in prison, is what we did, where you are literally at the mercy of your masters in that prison. You have no empowerment. Powerlessness is such an issue for children. It doesn't matter what place you go to on the planet. Powerlessness is how it feels to be a child, because your life experience is at the mercy of the people around you. And so a common coping mechanism that we use is the same one you would use if you were in Auschwitz. It's, I gotta find a way to make the prison not so miserable. So I'm going to find a coping mechanism, usually something that fits into the context of denial, that makes it so this hell is not as much of a hell. That's why kids play such an intense game of pretend. You will notice that the happier a child is in their home, the less they play pretend. Did you know that? Little upsetting, I know. The less they play pretend. So if you have a kid who's playing lots and lots of pretend, it means they're trying to escape from their reality instead of do something with their reality. It means that child feels a high degree of powerlessness in the home to actually create something that would feel good instead of to imagine it. Now, kids are naturally creative. Creativity does not take the form of, I'm pretending I'm in a different reality. Does that make sense? So we pretend our way through life. Now, this is me expanding on this doll complex, right? Because if we have this doll complex, our only way of coping with life is to actually play a game of pretend. Now, that's the horror. Everybody else in our adult life becomes like a doll too, because they're just a player in our own fantasy. This is literally what's happening when you see people go on dates for the first time. They're like, okay, check, check, check. This person will fit into the role that I have in my head for this thing. Now what happens the minute that they act like them? I don't want this person. Like, God, they're the exact opposite of what I thought. It's because that person's not fitting into our pretend game that we need to create for ourselves to survive our hell. So, long story short, we have got to awaken to the hell that we're in. And each one of us is actually living a different hell. Awaken to your hell so you can make the changes to your life right now. This is what I want to be teaching the world until the day I die, okay? You did not come here to have to convince yourself that your life is different than it is. Like logos therapy has a limit. You should be creating the life that actually feels good. To do that, you've got to become aware of what doesn't work, which sucks, and we'll hold your hand through it. Okay? You got to see this hell. Do you feel like you see it or no?
Yeah, I kind of feel sad.
You should feel sad.
Like this sucks.
Yes. See, let's all pause at this moment, because this is the thing. You come into an audience like this, and you expect what? That you should just feel amazing. Really? I want you to actually ask if this is a rational expectation to have of yourself and other people. Is it rational to expect that you should feel good? I'm having a philosophical debate with you guys kind of right now. Is it a rational expectation where you are in your life right now that you should feel amazing? I'd say hell no. Some of you are in a better place than others, but even the state of the world that we have created for ourselves, no, is the answer to that question. This is sort of why I liked the movie Matrix, honestly, because it's sort of like, actually look at the reality. Should you be like, everything is awesome? This is an appropriate emotion to feel in response to seeing the reality you're in right now. Now I'm going to tell you why to do this. Ready? The reason to become okay with the fact that this is the reality of how you feel is that this is now your biggest chance to actually feel good. It takes you being in this place of I feel freaking really, really, really sad. Because the reality is that I have two parents that have no freaking idea how to love me. It doesn't matter whether they say I love you. If they can't love you for whatever you are in this moment, not your actions, and not the way you inflate their ego by your productivity, then you weren't loved. If you're not collapsed on the floor crying, you see what I mean? That's the reality. But look what happens if she doesn't sit in the sort of sadness of that reality and try to shift that in some way. What does her life look like if she doesn't do that? Do you think she's going to end up in a loving relationship with somebody who just like super appreciates who she is on the couch? This is what it takes to start to recognize people who can't be with you. Does that make sense? And this is really the hell. The hell is that you haven't found that yet. But it takes this sadness to be able to sit in front of someone who has no capacity to actually love you for who you are and to know it. So that you can be like, no. What I choose in my life is people who actually can be there. And that choice point of free will, which is actually a choice point within source consciousness, is what makes it so the next person that comes into your life, it doesn't matter what you do. Could you imagine the relief of that? By seeing this hell, that's where you're actually headed. What would it feel like if you had somebody in your life that was like, just sit down on my lap, in fact. We don't have to be doing anything.
Interesting. I mean, I've never had that, so.
What might it feel like? This is your first pretend game, ready? By the way, when you start to see the opposite of your hell, what you're actually wanting, you're cursed in the best way possible. You can't ever go back from this. I'm going to curse you positively today. Ready? I want you to close your eyes and imagine this moment. You get back into this thing where you're panicked about having to get something done. Now imagine the perfect guy, okay? If that's what you want. Is that what you want in your future or no?
Perfect guy?
Yeah. What kind of relationship are you wanting? Friendship, romance, what do you want?
I guess just a relationship, yeah.
But there's like all kinds of different
Okay.
relationships.
We'll go with romance.
Okay, let's go with romance. Guy or girl?
Guy.
Okay, so imagine that you've got this guy in your life. This guy just freaking loves you. Like, it's just being with you. It's not what you're doing. It's not anything about you. It's just like bathing in your essence. Okay? No, you get back into this thing where you're like, oh, I have to do the dishes or I have to do something, right? And imagine he just takes you by the arm and he grabs you and he's like, can you just be with me?
I would be like, oh.
Yeah.
I would feel special, like I'm.
Exactly.
loved.
No, let's say that you're sitting on the couch and or you're watching movies. Like, you're not productive. You may even quit your job. Like, you don't have a job. And he comes home and he opens the door and he's like, oh, I love you.
I'm just amazed at the love.
Let yourself feel it. Because right now, like, you're scared to let yourself feel this. We're always terrified to see our heaven as well. Why? Because it means that our hell gets that much more real. I need you to really put yourself in the space of that being your reality.
Can you go through it again? Just one.
Okay. Okay, so I want you to imagine you've quit your job, okay? You don't have a job. You're not doing anything productive at all. Like, you may just like spend your day doing whatever the hell you feel like doing. Now he opens the door and he sees you. And you're just like the light of his life, just you, your essence, you being there. Now if you suggest, I think I may want to like go back to work and do all this stuff, right? He's like, but then you won't be with me. Can you just be with me? See, do you feel that feeling there's nowhere to go? There's nothing to chase. Now, if you want to do something, it's just because you want to, not because it gets you anything. Productivity is our transaction for love. What if it didn't have to be?
I feel like really peaceful.
Exactly. That can be your life. That can be your life. But here's the sad part, ready? If you're the kind of person who continues to do the productivity thing, right? Are you going to line up with that kind of person? No. You're going to line up the kind of people who are like, oh my God, that was amazing what you just did. Do more. So this is the choice point that you're at today. You have to be willing, literally, and it's very painful. It doesn't feel good. You have to literally get to the place where you say no to your own personal hell. It's the choice point where you say, I'm not doing it anymore. And then that puts other people in the choice point, you see? This is how you're actually awakening the world. And this is why children are born to specific parents. I know that many of you in the room related to being the kid who could never find a place to belong because you couldn't conform, right? The universe has set you up, I'm sorry. It's put you in this family as a child to awaken these people. Because if you make a choice point like that, or if you're the one that can't conform, it puts them in a choice point. Now suddenly they're the ones that go, well, am I gonna or am I not gonna now? Now I have to decide. It's like, I mean, how many of you either are gay or have gay friends? Okay, so this, like everybody goes through this type of experience in their own way. But we can look at the LGBT community for how this works. When a little kid who's from the Midwest in a Christian family says, I'm gay, the universe basically puts that kid in that family to put everyone else in the family in a choice point. Am I going to choose love or am I going to choose not to love? That is my choice now. So it's like you're turning up the heat. And your family needs the heat. Woo! Would you like to know why? Because your hell is the same hell your mother lived, is the same hell your grandmother lived, is the same hell your grandmother's grandmother lived. It's literally an out-of-control train, just through the generations. When you wake up and you look back, it's, oh my God. That sucker's been going for thousands of years. The only way to get your mother out of that hell is for you to stop the train. As the universe, I personally apologize to the aspect of me that must do this. Look what that does for her, though. You have to see what this does for people. So you don't convince yourself you're hurting everyone, okay? Because that's where you go. I know those of you who are gay and who came out, I'm hurting my family, right? That's the first place you go to. You got to be the one that flips around to the train and says, shh. For your mother to say, now suddenly I have to ask myself about productivity. And you can't control what they choose. That's the other hell of this. The other hell of this is that you can't dictate whether a person, when they arrive at the choice point, is going to make one decision or the other. But I can guarantee you if they don't choose love, that they're going to have another opportunity. More painful next time. We love it when it applies to everyone but us.
So how do I do that? Like, how do I?
You just did it. You saw your hell.
By just that?
Yeah. Oh, you'll see what I mean tomorrow. Do you guys understand what I just did? Okay, there's a teaching in this. Awareness is really the only thing that needs to happen. You may see me give people suggestions about tools to use and things to do up here on stage, but that's not what's actually creating the change. You can't unsee things. That's the curse. The curse is you can't unsee this. Not only did you see the pain that the aspect that you're pushing away from yourself is in, you also saw the hell of being around somebody who only wants you for your productivity. And you also saw the possibility of a relationship that's not like that. So just humor me for a minute. Now that you see that, what's going to happen?
I have no idea.
That's the best thing I've heard. Okay, close your eyes. Tomorrow you get this. This is fun. Close your eyes. Tomorrow you get that hit that says, I have to go do something. When it hits you, what are you going to think?
I have to go do it.
That's all? There won't be a little voice at the back of your head that says, uh-oh, I remember where this is headed.
No. Normally, like, I have these thoughts, like, I have to go do something, like, oh my God, like, I really have to do this now. Like, I gotta hurry up and do this.
I know, but what did you see today?
Like, I just have to do it. Like, just...
She doesn't realize that she's been cursed yet, trust me. This is the positive curse. You're never going to be able to do it again. It will no longer be possible for you to not be in that mode of productivity. Now, this is not I'm doing something. It's not like she's going to be only happy if she's doing nothing. This productivity race means whenever you're doing something for the sake of being productive, you will no longer be able to do that without feeling pain. That's the positive curse. I'm telling you, it will be impossible for you today to be in that mode of productivity without being in pain now.
I guess that's a good thing.
It's awesome. Because eventually the pain's going to be enough that you sit down and you say, I'm done. Which means you'll be a match to other people who say, I'm done too. Let's be done together. That'd be cool. Do you see? You don't have to do anything. I can promise you I'm not going to be able to give you any type of a technique, and actually no one will, to just instantaneously make it so that overnight you feel amazing about yourself as a person. Does that make sense? Can I explain why? Okay, so I just demonstrated in this little thing on stage one fragmentation within her. Did you see the relationship that we had? Right? That's one of hundreds. I want you guys to get comfortable with this concept. If anybody tells you that they can improve your relationship with yourself overnight, they are lying to you. And what they're going to do is to give you a coping mechanism, like Novocaine, to cover over the wound. I really, before you walk out the door, I need this to be the reality that you guys accept today. Can you get that? If a single human being promises you that they can overnight change your relationship with yourself and other people, it's Novocaine. And yes, you will feel much, much better. Just like you feel when you have a compound fracture and you shoot up with morphine. Because the reality is that in this life, because of the way that the world is and because of the way that our dysfunctional families function, you had to fragment yourself many, many hundreds of times. Bring me back here. If I get sidetracked, remind me to talk about why it's hundreds, okay? If I'm walking down the street and I meet the average Joe who grew up in a functional household, which, by the way, is so the rarity. Like dysfunctional homes, we talk about dysfunctional family dynamics as if it's the rarity. It's actually the norm. It's the style of relationship people on earth today have with each other. So everybody's falling somewhere on the scale of dysfunction. If I walk up to the average person with the most functional type of household, it's 22 fragments, minimum. When I sit in an audience like this, now I'm just going to get a little sort of, sorry I'm insulting you a tiny bit, but it's like, I do love you because I'm one of you. Ready? If you get to the point in your life where what you want to do with your Sunday is to go to a self-help seminar, you're looking at hundreds, if not thousands, of internal fragments, which means that your consciousness is exactly the same on an emotional, mental level as a high-speed car wreck victim. Do you understand that? I want you to imagine that a body gets into a car wreck 70 miles an hour, bones are shattered. This is also fragmentation on a physical level. This artery is torn, these bones are broken. We're going to be going through a whole process of putting this body back together again. So your relationship with yourself, which is about these different fragments of your consciousness coming back into a state of harmony, it's a process. Now, what I can promise you is the better it gets, the better it gets. So you shouldn't be super frustrated at the fact that this is going to be a long healing process, because the better it gets, the better it gets. You're already in the worst place you can be. We're going to put this bone back into place. We're going to be connecting this artery with this one. This is the process we're going to be taking if we step into this awareness work. But this is why you don't feel awesome instantaneously, because you've had to see the negative relationship, and just by seeing this today, you've created a little bit of an improvement here with these two aspects. And you're going to keep making decisions that bring these aspects into alignment. That's the positive curse. When you do that, your relationship with yourself will improve. Make sense?
So why is it thousands of fragmentations?
Because you have one fragment for productivity, one fragment for I don't get to be angry, one fragment for I gotta be smart. You catch my drift? Oh, one for you gotta be pretty. I'll probably end up I swear to God, you guys, every single one of these workshops I do, I end up having to show you how fragmentation works. I'll probably do that by the end of the day. Let's just be honest. It'll be really fun, and it'll make more sense. But do you understand?
Yeah, so I have to basically work with each of those fragments.
Yes.
So it's not, okay.
Yeah, I mean, but look at the attitude. Look at this attitude, because it's one we all have. But isn't it painful? The attitude is, oh, God, I really have to work with every single aspect. Translation? How good did it feel when Mom and Dad said, oh my God, I really have to sit with you when you're in this mood right now? That's your relationship to yourself. You know you're on the road to healing the day that you can say, every single aspect of me that comes up is an opportunity to be with me. I know you're not there today, and I'm not asking you to be, and it's not wrong to be where you are. Be there. It's the reality. But you will know the day that you're really gaining traction with your healing process, when it doesn't matter how many fragments come up anymore. Because you understand the better it gets, the better it gets. Can I explain this thing with healing really fast? I know this is a long segment, but okay. We need to get it done. That's how we are as people, and society just makes it 50 times worse for us. So we're the kind of people who look at healing as if we got to clean a whole turkey pan. It's God, I can't feel good, and I can't have the relationship I want, and whatever, unless I clean the whole damn thing. And then, so obviously when you're looking at a really dirty turkey pan, what's the feeling you have in your body? It's probably the very same feeling you have towards your own healing process. Like, yeah, there are those days. I actually love that. Somebody in the audience is like, shoot, yeah. Every one of you will probably have that feeling. That's what it feels like sometimes. Just like it feels like when you get in a high-speed car crash and you're in pieces. Oh, you better believe when you wake up, you're like, Jesus Christ, I wish I would have died sometimes. That's a normal reaction to have to the healing process as well. But even though it's overwhelming to look at a very dirty turkey pan, the reason that I say the better it gets is you're already in the worst position possible, okay? If you clean a little bit, you get that much better feeling. So it's not like you have to get the whole thing done in order to feel better. Does that make sense? And I can promise you one of the biggest steps you're going to take towards feeling better is by stopping with this pressure that you have to feel awesome now. It's this everything is awesome syndrome in society that's making it impossible for you. And it's even worse in the self-help industry. It's like sometimes, I love that you're all here today, but sometimes when I see people who get into this type of work, I'm like, my God, have mercy on your soul. Because it's 50 times worse here than it is in the real world. Because you're around other people who will continue to say, if you're not feeling amazing today, then you're doing something wrong. I'm going to teach you how to feel amazing. Pretend that you're amazing already. No. It's going to screw your relationship with yourself. Because it's the reality you're not always going to feel good. Especially in the way the world is today. It's a reality. You're not going to always feel good. So if you have a part that doesn't feel good, and you're in the space of like, everything needs to feel good, how are you going to treat that aspect of yourself when it comes up? Now, this is the question I want you to ask yourself, and I'm wanting to create a shift within the entire spiritual community this way. I need you to ask yourself, how would you feel if you were on this side of the relationship? Because we think this is normal to do to ourselves. When we have an aspect that feels crappy, we think it's normal to say, you should feel amazing. You can feel amazing today if you just pretend to be where you want to be, right? How would you feel if you had lost your mother, okay? You lost your mom, or somebody else who mattered more, right? And someone said that to you. I mean, seriously, be honest about it. Is that friendly of me? I need to make this get more real for you. Okay. You just lost a relationship, right? Watch her emotions. She just lost a relationship. Do you think she has a right to feel crappy? It's probably an appropriate reaction to have, right? But you're really in victim consciousness right now. The reality is he wasn't right for you, and you just need to know that. Do you want to hang out with that friend? But you are hanging out with that person inside you. I hope that scares the crap out of you. Like, you're not just visiting that shitty friend for like an hour. That lives in your own skin. Am I getting through? We got to end this relationship with ourselves. Like, we've got to learn to actually be there for all aspects of ourselves. And I will be teaching this till the day we die. So I promise I will make you get it. If you don't already. But feel this feeling. It's okay to feel like crap. Nobody should feel amazing if their whole life and self-worth was based on productivity. How does it feel to have that pressure taken off? And I'm not just saying it to take the pressure off. I'm saying it because it's real.
Like, calm, like it is what it is. Like, there's no pressure to feel different.
Which is what you've needed your whole life. No pressure. By the way, you should take your whole productivity thing and rewrite it to that. I want a life that doesn't have pressure. That's your heaven. We just named it.
Thank you.
Okay, who's next?